Hey guys, this is Comic Ken, and yeah, I just got on. I'm just like, all right, still trying to set up. I got a few things that I need to do. It's just the music right now, and I'm making sure that I am muted on the computer. And then hold on, and then we'll just jump right into it. Here we go. Get the music going. Make sure it's not too loud. I usually keep it on 17, it seems. And there we go. All right, cool. Yeah, so yeah, I finished with coloring Saintly. So I'm like, all right, what do I do now on this on the stream? But anytime I have a spare second when I'm done with Saintly, like I just go back to Air Rider stuff. I actually have a whole third chapter that I've inked and I've written it all out, and I was almost done with producing it before I started on coloring Saintly, and yeah, I'm just gonna go back to that. So that is what I have prepared on my screen over on the side now. Let me see if I can present, share screen, and let me just see if window, entire screen. Okay. Cool. So y'all should be able to see what I'm working with here. And this is from Air Rider Chapter 3. I think what I'll first do is show y'all a little bit of some of the colors in Saintly without showing you the whole thing, because I don't want to spoil anything. Yeah, I was arranging my files. One of the most important things to do when you're creating a freaking comic is to save your files in the correct place. I have all my Saintly colors in one place, all my Saintly inks in one place, all my pencils in one place. Everything is organized in the exact right place, or else I just lose everything and I don't know where to find it again. And it's hard to find that information. Like, you just have to label everything correctly and all that. Let me check out the comments. What's up, Venture Lord? How you doing, man? Appreciate it. Yep, congrats on finishing up Saintly. Let me click that, make sure it shows. There we go. Congrats on finishing up your work on Saintly. That's really dope. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. So the only thing that's left to do on that is to basically, what I'm doing right now is rewriting the dialogue. So one thing I'm doing is I do like this little exercise where I will listen to, let me make this big. I will listen to dialogue that I'm hearing in some of my favorite clips online, and then I'll just write it out in my like kind of comic book style handwriting that I learned like at the Kubert school, and I will just try to write out how it sounds phonetically, and that's like an exercise that I use to train my ear for better dialogue, because my dialogue, I think, is my weakest element right now. And I have my issue of Saintly up right now. It's in black and white. It is the one where if you sign up, that's what you read, and it is okay. Like, it gets across the point of Saintly, like it gets across the point of the first chapter. You can read it just fine, but it doesn't have, it's, the dialogue's not fully polished yet. So I am using this technique, or I'm using this training to try to improve the dialogue behind Saintly. And the main thing I'm doing right now is cutting down on the amount of speech balloons that I'm using. Because if you use too many speech balloons, people will literally just tune out. They'll just be like, "Yeah, this is too much," and then they'll leave. Like, they'll scroll on their phone or read something else. Like, speech balloons, you got to be very careful how many you use and where you place them. Only when it's like super important do you, like, only when you tease the reader long enough to where they want more information do you give more speech balloons, and they'll be happy to read all the speech that you have. But at the beginning, it's very good to be sparing on that. So that's what I'm doing in this second draft or in this third draft. I don't even know how many times I've written out the dialogue for Saintly, but that's what I'm doing on this next pass. I'm just tweaking the dialogue and making it better. So that is uh, what I'm working on with now that the colors are done for Saintly. So I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of what I've been cooking with Saintly, and then we'll get to what I'm working on. So let me see. I can't do it on my phone. What's up, Massive Panda? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming to the show, dude. I am just talking about Saintly, finishing up the colors and showing y'all what I've been up to. So these are it. You can see it basically in the miniature. And this is page 1. Let me see if it'll work. Okay, cool. So that, oh, let me make sure that my screen is showing. There we go. So this is page 1, panel 1. And I'm actually really satisfied with how this came out. Like, I'm just like, okay, yeah. This I think this light up here just kind of grading down made the whole page kind of work. So it wasn't super like confusing. And then we got this. So that is page 1. And basically they're in a church. It's raining outside. In page 1, if you read the comic in the black and white version, there you're gonna see a scream, like a loud scream going into the church and coming from the second main character, Chelsea. I don't know what I would call her, like a deuteragonist or something, but yeah, she's like the secondary main character. And then Vivi is the main character. Like, she is basically the star of the show, and you can tell from the first like panel that she appears. Well, she appears over here, like, you know, kind of scary in the in the thing, and you're like, oh, is this a monster that's coming? And then boom, it's just her. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Nick Stream? Thanks for coming out to the show, man. And hey, what's up, Rank Up Your Guts? I've never seen you before. Thanks for you said that lighting shot is beautiful. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Or woman, I don't know. Rank Up Your Guts. That's cool. But yeah, this is the first panel where she appears. I was trying to figure out like what type of shape do I want for this, like for her like effect to come in. Chelsea's effect is going to be like stars, because that's what you see when you look into her eyes. But when you look into Vivi's eyes, there's no soul. So and there's a reason that for that. There's a story reason for that. But yeah, these are the first 3 pages. I wasn't super excited about the third page when I was working on it, but it came together in the end. I was just like, all right, this is one of the pages that I actually worked on stream. So you can play back video of it. And page 4 was actually like my favorite. I'm really not my favorite out of all pages, but I'm really happy with how this panel came out, because I didn't think it was gonna be that great at first. If I go back to let's see, if we go to the main Saintly folder, if I go back to how this panel looked before, so we'll actually, let's look at the like the layouts. This is the layout version. This is how it looked in the layout version. Then this was actually a sketch that I drew out in my what do you call it, sketchbook first, and I was just like, actually, this wasn't even part of the story when I drew out this sketch. I was just like, this really conveys the dynamic between the 2 characters so well that I'm just like, you know what, let me keep it. And so I put it in the story, and it fit perfectly in the story on page 4. So that's what turned out in the inks. But this is the flats. This is how it came out in the flats, and I was just like, I don't know if I can make this art like better than this. Maybe I should just leave it flat and not touch it. But then it actually turned out pretty decent in when I finished coloring it. So I was happy with that. So that was page 4. Let me see. And this is page 5. Page 5 was like, okay, yeah, that's a nice transition page. Then we get to page 6. So let me jump around here. Hit done. And then my favorite page is, wait a minute, where's page 8? Oh, hell no. Did I delete page 8? I better not have. Yo, I think I deleted page 8. Oh no. No. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to Dropbox like recently deleted. Let me see if that'll. No, that's not it. That's on my computer. Yeah, I guess I accidentally deleted page 8. So the thing about Dropbox is that it has a what do you call it? A feature where if you delete something, it'll be about 30 days before it's like permanently deleted. So I'm gonna just jump in there and pull out page 8 because that is a serious issue. Like if I don't get it out of there, it doesn't exist anywhere else. So I can't uh like I need to pull it out from there so that I can actually have it, or else I just have to do it again. You know what I mean? Like I have the flat colors for it, like it exists around here, but let me show you the flat colors for page 8. In fact, actually, the flat colors for page 8 are pretty close to how page 8 turned out. It just doesn't have any of the rendering. So this is page 8, and page 8 was the one that took the most work, I think, because I had to do a lot of effort and like making sure everyone's sizes were correct on this panel. Like, okay, this guy is like 6 foot, I think, and then this girl is shorter than that. The girls, the twins, they're shorter than Chelsea, but taller than Vivi, and Vivi has to be shorter than Chelsea around her shoulder. Um, and I just had to make sure all the sizes were correct on this panel, so I don't, so I didn't like fuck up. Like proportions had to be maintained and in the right angle and all that stuff. Like, and I'm just drawing it on paper. And I think I did like a little stream or a little post on Instagram about that a long time ago when I was drawing it. So, or inking it at least. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite drawings of Chelsea. Like it just, I don't know, I just like how it came out. I like how this whole page came out and how the comedy reads. But yeah, that's a little sneak peek at the colors. Let me show you a couple of pages from like the latter half. So this is when document 24 has been recently deleted. No, it hasn't. It's about to open up. What? I didn't delete this. What the heck? What the? Okay, where else can I find it? Because this is the only place to find those. Let me go over to Saintly Colors and just make sure. Okay, there we go. It hasn't been recently deleted. So this is when they basically get to the place where this demon lady is taking them to. And I like her name. I changed her name from what it is in the actual comic. So it's gonna be changed when it's in full color format. And then boom, they get to this place, and let me see if you can guess what this type of place is supposed to resemble. Like, what is the place that they're in? Like, can you take a wild guess where they're at? And yeah, so that is just a sneak peek at the colors that I finished for Saintly. And this is what I was meaning by like Chelsea's shape is stars, like because she's like an aspiring actress, and I was just like, all right, let me just use some basic symbolism for her and not try to go too deep with it. But yeah, so that's what we got going on there. And I have to like consciously hold myself back from making any more changes because I know that's all I want to do, to fix any like quirks and stuff that are going on with the story. But yeah, it's just fine as is. I'll just leave it. All right, let me read some of these comments here. Where should I go? All right, let's see. Massive Panda says, a few minutes late, so I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but now that issue one is colored, will the color version be available as the webcomic, or will that version only be available in black and white? So I haven't launched the webcomic officially yet. It's not gonna be um published to a website for a long time, and I don't really know what to do with the color version, and I don't want to put it behind a paywall arbitrarily. I want to make it available for like my email list subscribers, but then I want to see um what my business partner or my publisher would say about how I should go about posting it, because I don't really understand. I don't really like have an idea yet, because we still have to get the second chapter rolling and that kind of thing. We have to move forward with the second chapter, and in the meantime, she said she's busy until the middle of March. So in the meantime, I'll just be finishing up Air Rider and probably getting this book ready for some type of launch. I don't know if I'm going to do a full Kickstarter. Those things are tiring to say the least, but that is the plan there. So I don't really know how I'm going to release the color version yet, but black and white is what we've got so far, and what I'll be sticking to for now. Let's see. Panda said, either way, I'm prepared to shell out some money for this full color version. Can't wait for the release of this. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I can't wait either. I'm really more excited to get to the later parts of the story so I can finish that whole thing and then have it come out as a whole. Like, if I want somebody to take this book and be like, dang, I got so much out of this book. Like, they're reading it and they're like, damn, I'm gonna keep this and treasure it and cherish it forever. Like, that's what I want to create with this first graphic novel. Let's see. Time Linear. What's up? I don't think I've seen you before here. How do I draw for longer? I can only do about 2 hours, which isn't a lot. Any tips? Yeah, 2 hours is a lot. If you're doing it all at once. So if you one of the things I've read about, like with productivity things, is that at most people can work in one or in 90-minute chunks without getting tired. So if you work for an hour and a half, then after that hour and a half mark, you start losing steam and you're just not as locked in or as focused as you were in the first or in the beginning or even in the middle. Sometimes I find that I start to lock in after that hour and a half mark, but other times, for the most part, I do lose steam. Like, especially during this last week where I was just focused on drawing. Like, I was drawing in 90-minute chunks, and I was able to really clock how much energy I had at every point of the drawing process. Especially if I didn't watch any social media, I would hit that flow state. What you want to do is find that place where you're hitting that flow state and find a way to get back there consistently with every session of drawing. So if you're just starting at the beginning of your drawing session, you might not be fully ready yet. You're not warmed up, but then once you get in the flow of it, you're like, I want to keep going even past that 90-minute mark. If you're going to only draw 2 hours for now, that's even more than 90 minutes. So if it's just 2 hours per day that you're doing, that's totally fine. But for the last week, I was doing I don't know if it was like 12-hour days, but I would just draw from morning to night because I had to get these pages done. So I would do it in 90-minute chunks, then take a break for 15 minutes, then start up again after. I didn't usually start up right after that 15-minute mark, but having that time to rest my mind helped me get back into it after 15 to 30 minutes of a break. I would just treat it like you are working an 8-hour shift at work. Have a 15-minute break, a 30-minute break, and another 15, and then you should be good. 90 minutes working solid between each, and if you can't manage more than 2 hours per day, 2 hours is already good enough, as a start. Okay, Master Panda says the stuff you're talking about, accurate character sizes and details, are overlooked by readers and non-artists when you're doing it correctly, but stand out like a sore thumb when inconsistent. Yeah, dude. Like, um, it most like people won't care exactly unless it's like super obvious. And people were pointing this out in like Steven Universe. I used to watch like Steven Universe reviews and videos to figure out why I personally didn't like it. But one of the things that people would point out is like none of the sizes were consistent. Like Peridot would be different size one day, and then like taller than Steven one day, and then shorter than Steven the next episode, or even in the next scene. And people were annoyed, like, what the heck is going on? Or at least the critics were annoyed. Maybe the readers or the watchers, like the watchers of Steven Universe, wasn't that invested in their size differences, but it's something that they notice in the back of their mind or something like that. Says it's something that most don't even appreciate. There are all these details that artists put into their work that most people don't appreciate or care about. Shame, but oh well. Yeah, that's how it goes, man. Nick Stream says, are the files in Clip Studio? Yep. I did everything in Clip Studio. Time Linear, he says Backrooms. Yep, that's correct. He's referring back to the page in Saintly where they're where they're in this place. So yeah, they're in the Backrooms. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even show you the screen. Let me go back. Yeah, they're in the back rooms here. So let's see. Massive says, so basically your publisher wants you to get a little ahead a little bit to build up a backlog or safety net before actually putting it out there. Exactly. Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. It's just building a buffer is what they call officially. Like that's the official term for it in like webcomics, where you're building a buffer of pages so that you can start publishing consistently, which is the main thing that's important when putting out a comic. I think I made a video about this, but I haven't posted it yet. You're posting that buffer consistently, and then if you're making the comic at the same time that you're posting the buffer pages, so that you're always replenishing the buffer you have in your backlog. And then when you actually have some type of emergency or something that comes up in your life, you still have those pages that you can post up quickly because you created such a large buffer in your past before you launched officially the webcomic. Because a lot of webcomics stall or end prematurely or go on hiatus because they don't have that buffer built up. But I think I like what Webtoons does, where it's a feature, not a mistake. Where in Webtoons, what they do is they'll just call it a season finale, or they'll be like, it's not on hiatus. The season has ended, so we're just waiting for more pages to come through, and that will be the next season. Back when it was just regular webcomics, or in traditional webcomics, they would just call it yeah, I'm on hiatus, or they just would disappear and and come back randomly, and you just check back in every few months or a year or so, and then you'll be like, is this guy back yet? And sometimes they would be back randomly, and you'd be like, holy crap, there's more new pages coming out. Or they just never come back at all, and you'd see them on other social media, and they'd be in animation or something like that. So yeah, that's what the pages I'm doing are for right now. And then Time Linear asks, what is the theme of Air Rider? The theme of Air Rider is, it's not hard to explain, but it's not coming to mind right now. This first version of Air Rider that I'm working on right now, the theme is different from what I had inside my head. So basically the basic theme of it is the main character overcoming his dark past to uh improve like his future and the future of his school. So the main character is kind of messed up, but that's because his father, which he doesn't know, his father has passed away, but it was because he was a school shooter. And so uh this character lives in the same school, like he goes to the same school where his dad was a shooter, and everyone sees him almost like they see Naruto, where like he's almost like the nine-tailed fox over there, because his father did so much damage to the school and its foundation and all that kind of stuff, just from the trauma that he caused, that now the main character is dealing with it in a situation that he didn't ask for. So now he has to deal with a lot of villains and a lot of fallout that is coming from that is stemming from what his father did in the past, and now he has to transmute all that darkness into light. And so uh that is the main goal of the main character. Like, he isn't aware of that main goal right now. He's just a bully at the start. He's just like a bully. He just tries to get girls. Like he is not a nice guy at the beginning. He's trying to get at this kid right here. Oh, let me show you. Make sure that the screen is showing. I always hate that. Okay. There we go. Yeah, he's not a nice guy. Like, he's trying to get at the this guy right here. Like, he's trying to get at this kid. But these two jocks are basically blocking him and like crushing his his hand. And so yeah, at the beginning he's like a bully, and he's trying to overcome, he's not trying to overcome his past, but that's what ends up happening over the course of the story as we get to know the main character. So yeah, he's like, in this panel, like he's saying something like along the lines of like, I'm just gonna make sure that this whole school forgets that that loser, which is referring to his father, ever existed. So he's in an evil way, or in a bad way, he's trying to make sure that his name is more known than his father's name. But he thinks that he needs to do it by becoming like infamous or being like a bully or whatever, but he's gonna end up doing it by saving the school or by becoming the school's hero. And that is what Air Rider High School Hero is about. So his father was the villain that messed up the school, and the main character is going to become the hero that the school needs in this day and age. So that was the whole reason behind Air Rider High School Hero, and why I was so passionate about creating it until I got this other gig. And it seems people are more excited for Saintly, and that's just like, you know, that's just the unfortunate truth about it. Like, people are more excited about Saintly, and it might be because it has, like, you know, girls and stuff and like hot chicks and whatnot. And it's just all, and I think the main character of Saintly just looks more interesting, visually appealing, and people don't like the way Eric looks as much, even though I love him. Like, I love him, and I love Vivi, the main character of Saintly, both as much as, like, equally, you know what I mean? Like, they're like my children almost. And I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I just want to see them do well and you know, have a good life and whatnot. But I'm the one that's gonna make their life hell and give them all these obstacles that they have to overcome and whatnot. So that is partially what's going on in this issue right here in chapter 3. And yeah, today I am just working on that. So this is a page I should save as is. Let me see. So this is closer to the end of the issue. And the whole issue was like 36 pages or so. But now I'm like trying to finish it. So this is that girl that Colton likes. Her name is, I think it might be Elissa or something. I forget. But yeah, that's the girl that he likes. And she's in that first chapter. Let me open up chapter 1 of Air Rider. I'm wondering if I got better at drawing or coloring since Air Rider #1. It might just be the same because I never really learned new techniques for how to color in let me go to Dropbox. Where is Air Rider? Oh yeah, main file. So there's a whole dickload of files in this main file here. So, but I saved it all perfectly, so I know where everything is. So let me get to the JPEGs. Oh, I just have to open them. Okay, cool. So if I go to page, yeah, Eric only has one friend, and it's this girl. And why are they friends? There was some past reason for it, but I forget what it was. All right, it doesn't come to my head right away. But yeah, okay. So this is that girl right here. So yeah, that's the same girl. This is Colton, and that's his sister right there in the middle. And everything was more like Kids Next Door back then. Like when I was drawing, like I was just still figuring out my style and trying to make something that looked appealing to me without, I don't know, without going 100% anime. I wanted to make it more cartoonish, like literally more cartoonish, like doing stuff like this where the sweat is literally coming off of him and and going on to my main character. Like I was able to do fun stuff like that, and just sort of have fun with the art behind it. And I do think I've gotten better at coloring, but not by much because I don't color a lot. Like I haven't had the chance to really color a lot. Like I have to draw more to have more of a chance at coloring so I can improve at it. But yeah, that's Air Rider. And that is the only form of Air Rider #1 that exists. I used to have like the raw files, but all of them got deleted with my old hard drive. Yeah, my old hard drive, and I didn't have a Dropbox at that time. So let me see. And then where's Air Rider #2? So this is a little bit more, a little harder to navigate through, just because. And so yeah, this is Air Rider #2. This panel or this don't make me download it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this panel took like what's the word? I had to like reference it, and I did both poses like for June and for Eric, like just to make sure that I got it right. And yeah, there would be little things like this that I would just go the extra mile to draw because I wanted to do it right, make it interesting for people to read. So there'd be like little little jumps like this. You can see the little turtle jumping as well. And yeah, it was fun to do. And I just went from there. Like look at this. This is too much speech balloons. But that's just how I was writing at the time. And I was actually good at placing them. Like keeping them in the right spot and not overloading, not making it impossible to read, you know. So yeah, it's that's how that was. Then now we have this, and I'm just gonna try to finish this up, and then what? Once I'm done with this, then I can just let's see. I think this is what I'll do. I'm going to take folder 5 here, copy it. And then I have a total, what do you call it? I have a full, like I have a file specifically for editing AirWriter pages. So that is in here, I think. Nope, wrong one. Is this the one? No. Okay, it's in here. What the? Okay, let me see. Where is it now? AirWriter number 3. No. No, that's not it. Where is it? That's not it. Oh, let me see. Okay, here it is. Why is that not in that file? Okay. Here we go. Webinar page. That's what I mean about like, what's the word? Organizing, because you will lose so much time just by having to figure out where your file is over time. Like you'll just be like, where did I put that? And if you don't know what the name of it was, or if it's saved as IMG 35682 whatever, and you're just like, I don't even know what number or how it starts. Like if it's not saved under the name that you know it as, or if it's not saved in the file folder where you think it might be, you might as well have just lost that complete file. Like you would have to check through every single thing you got just to find where you put that thing, and at that point it's just lost. Just chalk it up to, you know, being unprepared, man. Let me check the comments. Hey, what's up, Ichthus? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. Let's see. Man, I love how you drew his grinding teeth together in agony while he's trying to get her off him. Which panel was that? Grinding his teeth in agony. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's probably in chapter 2, page 2. Let me see. Let me go back to that. Compiled. Okay, yeah, I think I remember. Yeah. Yeah, man, like little cartoony things like that is what I respond to when I read comics or watch cartoons. So I just do that kind of stuff often. It makes it fun. Like I just like fun comics. Let me see. To be honest, I think that's a fair amount of text on the page. I think there's a thin line between having enough text to keep the reader's eyes on the page and being way too verbose. Yeah, I think that's the word I'm looking for, verbose. Like sometimes there's like I'll read comics that are just the character blabbering, like they're just talking too much, like they don't even need to be saying all of like everything that they're saying, but they're just talking to talk for talking's own sake. And I'm like, this could have been a tweet, you know? So when I write, if I'm gonna write any words, it's mostly like if I'm gonna write extra words, it's mostly to convey what type of character that person is. If they have a lot of if they're a specifically verbose character, then I put a lot of dialogue, um and have like another character cut them off or something like that, just so it doesn't come off like too amateurish. uh Said, dang, the notifications didn't notify me. Man, yeah, YouTube is like that. I'll have to see how that actually works, but um I don't know. I don't know 100% how YouTube works. It says, how dare you not be prepared? Yeah, that was from the what do you call it? The file finding discussion, man. Like it's just hard to, if you don't have everything saved in a specific name or some type of scheme, then you just lose files and you're just like, well, I guess it's gone, man. It's just gone. All right, so here we go. Okay. So Colton right now in this moment, his parents have told him to find his glasses, and specifically his dad said that like he doesn't want to go to school because Eric is going to be waiting to get his like a revenge fight for him, and he doesn't want to go back to school the next day, but his dad is like screaming at him to find his glasses, the ones that he lost because they were expensive. So he's gonna go back to school, and now he's like desperate, and then he says if he goes and gets those glasses, then they'll consider homeschooling him again, because he's like a homeschool kid. So they said if he finds his glasses and he comes back, then they'll consider homeschooling him. And his mom's super excited, but his dad's like, you got to face your fears and get those glasses back. So that is this page. He's looking desperately for them, and this is where the fight took place on the park or playground area. Even though they're in a high school, and high schools don't typically have a playground, they at least have like, this one has at least like a tether ball that they mess around with. So I'm gonna just start inking on this page and doing it digitally. I was wondering whether to do it traditional, but in this case, in the case of Air Rider 3, I can literally just do it digital and be just fine. So, okay, I just did this. Maybe it's better that way. Anyways, it'd be better if one eye was more lowered. I'm gonna hit the copy that, and then I'm gonna rasterize. Hey, what's up, Dale? How you doing? He says, now what? Is this Saintly as well? No, it's not Saintly. This is Air Rider number 3, which was unreleased because I started working on Saintly at the same time that I was finishing up working on chapter 3, and then the pitch took off with my publisher, and she was just like, yeah, let's start making this new thing. And I was just like, all right, bet, let's do that. So I am just working on inking this now. So because I'm in between chapters, I just finished coloring chapter 1 of Saintly, and I go over some of the color pages earlier in the stream, And now I am working on, because I'm not going to be able to start chapter 2 until mid-March. uh I am just going to finish up Air Rider chapter 3, and maybe I'll release it as a Kickstarter, maybe I won't. I don't know, man. Like, Kickstarters are freaking tiring, man. Like, they're super tiring. So I'm gonna go ahead and rasterize this, and I'm just inking this now. Let me see what happens if I use the liquify tool. It looks kind of cool. I just want to, no, not like that. I just want to make one eye like shorter than the other. Inks. I'm going to call this one Inks. And then my favorite pen to ink with is this AA ink brush. I got it from the Clip Studio store, and it's completely free. So you can just grab that easily. And the thing I like about it is that you can be on 500 and you can still be inking with a really delicate line, and only when you press harder does it turn into a big bulky line. So you can have the most variability with that when you're drawing. So yeah, so I can just start inking with what I got here. I don't even have to move that line. I'll just go with what I got. I'm gonna ink some of this, and actually I do want to use a thinner brush. There we go. And this is just all the grass that he's pulling up. And I don't like to leave work unfinished. Like, I've had advice from friends saying, hey, you don't need to finish Air Rider. And I don't need to finish the series, but I feel like there's so much work finished on this third chapter that I'm like, I can't just like leave this alone. Like, this thing is almost done. Like, it was just about ready to get colored by the time that I left it alone. So I'm just coming back to it and finishing up. Now, here's the thing I don't have to do. I can just get a brush for this. That's part of the good thing about inking digitally, is like you have tools to create foliage, to create grass and all that kind of stuff. What the hell? Let me see. Okay, so in this case, we want to take this, make it white. That way. Nope, wrong one. Want to make it black. And we want to make this white. Okay, that's wrong. Let me go over here. Make sure that's on a normal. And then we're going to invert that color. Why does it come out like that? Let's see, grass A. I'm deadass about to draw it by itself if I can't get this thing to work right. So let me look in the settings. Blending mode normal, opacity is normal. This is not the one. This is. Size is really big. Gap, angle, blending mode. Oh. Okay, I guess it's supposed to be like a flat black color. without any. Like if I change one of these, are they all the same thing? Man, there's no variety in it, so that would just make it, you know, not good. Okay, I kind of get what's going on now. I'm just gonna ink it with my hands. This is one of those cases where it doesn't need to be perfect. Like, you can just get away with getting the idea across that this is a tree and not making it perfect. And I have a way that I do trees normally, which would involve drawing all the like trees roots and the bark, doing it in black and white and ink. But I don't have to do that here, at least not right now. One thing I could do though, do it in another layer, because I have some foreground elements. So this is how I usually like to do trees. There we go. And you're just doing the lines. If you already know the basics of how trees work, then you can just kind of guesstimate one. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to keep light source in mind. So let's say the lighting is coming from the left. You want to make one side brighter than the other. Okay. And like I said, with Air I just had a style established already. I really think that Air number 3 is better drawn than Saintly number 1, because I just had more time to draw it. Like, I was just going ham on it, but it took like maybe a year or more of just going into it, revisiting it, not drawing for a while, coming back with a better artistic eye, artistic skill, finding somebody to look over the art and tell me like where it was lacking, where it was good. Like, it was so many factors that came together to make it look better over time that by the time I actually started it, or by the time I actually got to this point, so many months had passed. Like, it was more than a year from the start of me like actually starting on issue 3 and trying to figure out the style of what I was going to do to make it, and getting to this point at all. Like it was just it came out good, but it took so much time just to get up to this level of quality. And even then it's like, okay, I'm still not done with it, but that's because I've been working on Saintly. And Saintly was as much quality as I could put into something that I was going super fast on. So it wasn't as high level as Air Rider, but then Air Rider was like I already had an established style for it, and I was getting comfortable with the style of Air Rider. I was like, okay, now I know how this would look in this style of Air Rider. I know how this would look in the style of Air Rider. Air Rider has a definitive look. It's kind of a combination of anime plus Codename Kids Next Door. So I understand like, okay, this is what it looks like. Whereas Saintly was like, okay, I'm using my base style without really I haven't spent as much time in the world of Saintly, so I don't know how to draw it as well as Air Rider. I'm still discovering how Saintly should be drawn, how it should look. The colors have really helped with figuring a lot of that stuff out. But it's still a world in progress, whereas Air Rider is more determined. Like I've already figured out, oh yeah, I already know how I want this to look, and I've been thinking about it for years, decades. Well, maybe not decades, but I've been thinking about it for a long time. So I just had a better idea of how I wanted it to look. Whereas with Saintly, I'm still discovering the look as I go. Okay, so there you go. Is a real tree, not too real, but just real enough. And then here I can just go for this grass. This is the type of grass I like using because it's just small enough, or it's simple enough to where I can use it a lot. Why is it so big? What the hell? Oh, particle size. There we go. That's what I meant. That's what I needed to change. There we go. Okay. There we go. See, stuff like this is super time saving on drawing like foliage and whatnot. So I'm going to put more of this grass over here on this side because there's less light over there, but more light over here. So it's just based on how I drew that tree. Okay. And then I'm going to erase the tree where I put the grass, the foreground. There we go. And then go back to the ink layer. Erase that. Cool. So now that panel is done. And that's basically how you have to do comics, is just, okay, panel done, next one, move on to the next, go fast. Massive. Oh, have I just been showing my... Man, I'm sorry, y'all. I've just been working without showing my screen. Or have I? No, for some reason it stopped presenting. What the hell? I'm sorry about that, y'all. Let me share screen. Man, why did it stop sharing the entire thing? Okay. Yeah, I wish y'all could shout or like say something at me so I could hear, but yeah, my bad, y'all. Uh said, man, there's nothing more than I love when I finally get a more nature-esque scene to draw. Give me a tree over a building to draw any day of the week. Yeah, man. Uh Massive Panda says, uh okay, no, you were showing the giant the grass tree and tree scene, but it went off like 5 minutes ago. We saw most of the footage. Okay, good. Dope. Yeah, I don't know why it went off randomly like that. That's weird. But I'm glad it was still showing. I said, yeah, man, we're noticing how locked in you are on Saintly. You seem to be knocking out pages left and right, and they all look high quality. Increasing speed and production is so important for us. No, dude, that Saintly, I've been working on Saintly since like May of last year. So May, I was doing the pencils, and I'll show y'all what the pencils look like when I was working on them, because I was just doing 4 pencils of or 4 pages of pencils a day for Saintly. And let me show you like how quote unquote like quality they were when I was doing that, when I was going at that pace. So this is what the page of pencils look like. Um and I didn't even draw like the characters in the background yet. I didn't even know who was supposed to be there yet. So it was just, I was like, how is this scene even gonna look? And then I'll show you like how it finally, like how it ended up in the final. So let me, if I go over here, I can show y'all side by side. So let me go to Dropbox real quick, and I'll show you side by side. Let me go to Saintly, and I'll show the final colors for page 2. Because I knew the story for Saintly Chapter 1, but I didn't know exactly what I should show just yet. So it was a lot of like guessing and trying to figure out like how many characters am I gonna have in the scene, like who have I written to be in the scene, and all that. So I already knew I wanted Vivi to be like the main focus in this panel, but her eyes at the top didn't quite work. I had to switch that around because of the storytelling needs. And I finally figured out that panel later on once I knew every character who was going to be in the scene. And it was just difficult not having that information at first. So it took a while to figure that out. Massive says, really, has time gone by that fast? Jesus Christ, it seems like you've been going fast, but maybe that's how I perceive it as a viewer instead of you being the artist on the project himself. Yeah, because I didn't start mainly talking about it until last year in September, or maybe August or October. Yeah, more closer to October, because I just started talking about it then, but I had already been in production mode for like since May, because I was just like, okay, let me start this YouTube channel and start it going, get it going. And that is when I was really locked in on showing like, hey, this is what I'm working on, and this is Saintly. And back in May, I was just like locked in trying to get these pages done as fast as possible. So I was drawing at my highest speed, and I figured out what the characters look like, and I was just like, okay, cool. Like it was really hard to get Vivi's hair correct on most of the pages. So even a page like this, like if you look over here, this is how that panel like turns out by the end. So it was a lot of really quick drawing, and I was just like, okay, maybe this is the style for Saintly. Like it's just shaping itself as I draw and figure it out, but I'm not locked into any specific style just yet. So yeah, that took a long time, and I want to do. See, I hadn't even figured out these characters' designs yet. This is the design. This is like the twins. I just knew their vibe in their face. So one of them is kind of mean, and then the other one's like kind of shy. So I was just like, okay, I know the vibe in their face, but I just don't know what their outfit looks like yet. Um, and so there's a lot that I just didn't figure out or didn't know how to draw, or not know how to draw, but like I just hadn't figured out yet. This is page 8. See, the characters are in the right place, but they're not fully drawn in. And that is hard to do. Like these are rough pencils. So when I say 4 pages per day, I was doing stuff like this every day. And it wasn't fully drawn in. Like this is one panel that I was really happy with because I didn't have space at the bottom to draw them the right way. So I had to put them sideways, but that panel like came out to be one of my favorites by the time I finished it. So if I show you what that ended up looking like, we'll go up. Okay, there we go. And we'll go to colors. And that's page 10. I gotta remember, I'm gonna write down a note. I gotta put back page 8. Take that out of the deleted files. Get page 8. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite panels compared to like the pencil version. Let me go to the, where did I have the pencils? Here? What is this? Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this is the pencil version. And that's the ink version. So I like how it came out. It took a lot of finagling with the background and screen tones to make it come out correct. But yeah, I was happy with how this came out. They're not like involved romantically or anything. It was just a jokey type panel, but I like having that character dynamic stuff in there to really make people understand who the characters are and whatnot. Let's see. Master Panda says, do you adhere to the rule that artists must color black characters' hands with lighter colored palms according to real life? To me, it's a small detail not worth getting upset about. That's just me. Yeah, dude. When I look at my own hands, my palms are like slightly lighter than my hand. Let me make it bigger. What did I just do? Yeah, my palms are slightly lighter than my hand, but not by much. I don't really focus on that detail. So if you look at the panel that I made, let me go back to my previous screen. If you look at the panel that I made, I just make her color or her hand like the same color all around. Like I'm not trying to do anything like super accurate. I'm just like I just got to get it done and move forward with the comic. So yeah, that's just my philosophy behind it. I don't really think too deep about that stuff. But yeah. And he says, man, that bottom panel is perfect. We need this. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I can't wait to put it out one day. And I really like drawing like that. Like, I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's coming out soon. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna finish up Air Rider, even if nobody really uh is looking for more Air Rider specifically. It's like at the very least, I want to get it done, finish it, and then put it out in some way, shape, or form. Um, like even if people don't like it, I just want it to be finished, or at least have this little story arc finished, and just be like, okay, we'll call it the bully arc before he turned into a hero. Um, and we'll just leave it at that. And then one day come back to it, reboot it, and make it cool and stylized so that people can actually like get into it more. But if Saintly takes off, then I might be stuck on that for the next decade. I don't know, man. That's gonna that's gonna be like fuck. So people like it like that. Okay, well then I'm gonna have to make more and keep making it until it's just done, until the story is done. Okay. So here's what we'll do. Make sure I'm just checking my time and what I'm gonna do here. Okay, you guys can see what I'm working on. That's good. Gotta make sure because I didn't know it would just cut out randomly like that. That's crazy. Gonna put some patches on his skin to show that he's been getting down in the dirt. Actually, I should do that better because it's doesn't look good. Sometimes with comics, like you might have a good idea and you might have good execution, but then you have to ask yourself, like, would I want to read this, or would I be excited for this comic? Like for Air Rider, I was like, hell yeah, I'd be excited for this comic. I wanted to make it like kind of like Great Teacher Onizuka in a way where you have this character who's like a badass, but really flawed, and yet still finds a way to overcome his flaws and save the day. So that was the whole concept behind Air Rider, and it was the concept for Air Rider was born after I read um Great Teacher Onizuka. So I was learning a lot about how to write a story that didn't involve a final battle as a climax. Like it was showing me like, oh, you don't have to make these characters fight to make it interesting. I was just like, I don't. It was the first thing that showed me like hands isn't the most important thing in a story. And being conditioned on Naruto and Dragon Ball Z and One Piece at the time, I thought the only way to really end a manga was to have a showdown or a final battle or something like that. But Great Teacher Onizuka was not like that at all. It was just about overcoming, or it was just about like overcoming these students and their problems and helping them in his own unique way that came to a really cool climax by the end. So yeah. Question here, do you have an ending plan for Saintly? Yep, of course I do. I have an ending plan for this first graphic novel. It is totally planned out in advance. I'm really just executing on the plan that we laid out, because I at this point I don't think I can make it better. I can only streamline it more. So I have an ending planned for the first graphic novel, and then I have a series ending planned out. But like that's only if it goes on past um the this first graphic novel. Because if this first graphic novel does well, um there's gonna have to be more. Like I won't be able to just stop at one, and I'll be like, but Air Rider, and people will be like, no, we want more saintly stuff. So I'll be like, fuck, okay, I guess I'll just make some more saintly. um but that wouldn't be bad either. Like I'll just be making a living doing saintly as a comic, and not really uh worried about Air Rider until Saintly comes to an end naturally. And the fun thing about it is that it's going to be completely free to read online. Like I'm going to set up a Patreon one day, but that's only for people who want to read ahead and that kind of stuff. But it'll always be free to read online, cuz that's how I read my favorite web comics, or like comics in the world. It was just free to read comics online. And there's so many like great web comics that people don't like talk about, that's just completely under the radar because everyone's focused on JJK and that kind of stuff. But these comics are so good that that I don't know how to describe it. Like they're so good that people don't like because it's not, they're not advertised as much as a webtoon or a anime with a manga, then people just don't talk about it as much as they would anything else. Um, so they go under the radar. They go basically unnoticed by most people. Let me see, 200, yeah. Uh, and I don't want to act like I read a lot of webcomics. Like I really don't. Um, but when I had time, like in the past as a kid, like I would just check them out and be like, okay, hopefully this one's good, or hopefully this one is interesting, so I can be like, whoa guys, check out this sick awesome webcomic, and put my friends on to something cool. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna hit shift. Okay, thank God y'all are able to see what I'm doing. Good. Yeah, there are a lot of great webcomics going on right now. Traditionally published webcomics, meaning they're not webtoons, you know, what they usually have on webtoons, where it's just I've heard the term hype slop, but I don't want to call it hype slop. Like some of that stuff is actually like really cool looking. Like they can draw their ass off, man. Um yeah, man, get that Patreon started so you can make more money. I want to do one someday. Yeah, dude. A lot of creators I see start a Patreon like way, way, way after they get famous. Um, and I understand why, because like right now, a Patreon wouldn't be a good idea for me personally, because I just don't have the bandwidth to set up a Patreon. I mean, I actually do have one set up, and I think it's live, but I don't post anything on there, so it's not even useful. Like it's not, it doesn't have value to anybody. So the main thing I use is just my, oh my bad. The main thing I use is still my email list, and that I think is still more valuable than having a Patreon, just because you can get kicked off of Patreon, but you can't get kicked off your own email list. Like you just have people's email contact, and you can always contact them for offers or whatever you have to sell. the thing about an email list is like that's more important than having a what's the word? A YouTube, like a booming YouTube channel. It's more important than all that because a lot of people they'll have a booming YouTube channel or Instagram or whatever. Can I guess how a tetherball is set up? I can try. Let me see. I'm just trying to guess the pattern here. Maybe that's how? I don't know. I'm just guessing. Yeah, that looks correct enough. Nobody will notice. Anyways, a lot of people will have like a booming YouTube channel or a booming like social media presence. They got 100,000 ass followers, and then I'll see them talking about it like, yeah, I don't make any money. I'm completely broke. Like I have all these followers, but no idea how to monetize my content. So they have all these followers and get all these likes, but likes isn't money. Like there's this guy on social media on Twitter. His whole thing is likes ain't cash, which means like it doesn't matter how much likes you get online. It doesn't translate to making money. So that permanently like beat into me like, yeah, I just have to focus on getting people off social media and get them on your email list um if you're gonna like do anything. Because if you blow up on social media and you don't have an email list, basically you're just relying on being becoming a hype sensation or becoming a viral hit to make money. But the only way to have like sustainable growth is to have that email list so that anytime you have something new to sell, people will be there. Like you'll have them guaranteed to at least be there and see your email, so you can sell them whatever you got going on. Okay, I don't want to have to overly detail that thing. Timid Little Screws. Hey, what's up? Timid Little Screws said, is taking 12 hours to ink a page too long? At the beginning, when you're just starting out to inking like comics, it can take as long as you want, man. If you're not a professional yet, then take as much time as you need to get it up to high level quality or get it up to a good level of finish, and don't worry about the time in the beginning. You just want to get it to the point where you can finish the page and not worry about the time. That's how I was with like Air Rider and whatnot, but with Saintly, when it was time to like really lock in and actually do it on a professional level, then time mattered way more. And even if a page took longer than normal, some pages are going to take longer than other pages because you have more details on a page. So let's say I just have Invincible on me right here. Let's say you're drawing a page with a huge amount of, let's say like buildings, like you're drawing a cityscape. That page is going to take longer. Okay, so let's look at this page right here. This page is going to take you like maybe an hour or two because you're just drawing one character and it's just like, okay, cool, quick character, I'm done. But then you have like, if you're doing like a whole cityscape, let me go over here. There we go. He does not do that many cityscapes in this thing, man. Dang. Okay. So a page like this would take longer because you're doing more details, you're doing more background work, and that takes a lot of effort and skill. So Certain pages will take longer than other pages. If you have a lot of panels on a page, that's going to take longer to come up with the images that you need to put in each panel. um so yeah, it varies depending on what you're doing in your comic. Okay. Venture Lord says, I think creators want to reach a point of consistency and output. Yeah, dude. That is the if anyone is trying to make money at it and become a professional, that is the goal of every creator. Like me, currently, that's my goal. And I'm getting closer and closer to that point. But once I am making money off of doing this, then I can be as um consistent as I want to be. Like if I'm making a living off of this, then I have no choice but to be consistent and be making more and more content, because then my livelihood directly depends on how much content of Saintly that I'm putting out there, or of whatever comic that I'm selling at that time. So yeah, that's the main goal. Everyone's trying to get to consistency in that. But um said, dang, I forgot about tetherball. That used to be so fun back in the day. Yeah, dude. You'd get into like it would almost be like Dragon Ball Z, man. Like you'd hit it back and forth, and you get to a point where like, man, it's a stalemate until somebody like gets their hand caught on the rope and misses the ball, and then the other guy gets a few good swings around, and the other guy just can't come back from it, and then it's game over. And that game was so fun back then. Master Panda says, yeah, a lot of these people want to get famous by shucking and jiving. I haven't heard that term in a while. On the internet and doing humiliating skits and dances on TikTok, but they have no actual physical product to make money off of. Yeah, because they're trying to make money off of TikTok or Instagram Reels, like the platform itself. But a lot of people are starting to realize that the doing short form content and getting famous off of that doesn't really pay. It doesn't really pay that much. And one creator that I saw a while ago, his name is like, I forget, but he was teaching like basic tasks and how to do stuff. He TikTok took away his whole means of making a living because they changed their ad structure, and he just didn't have a way to monetize before, like, because he was making so many getting so many views on TikTok, and it was 90% of his income. And then TikTok's policy change just wiped away 90% of his income overnight, to the point where he had to he had to forcibly get a Patreon so that he could continue making content, or else he would just be homeless or out on the streets, man. And I was just like, well, if he had like some type of email list, if he had something where he had captured the really interested people onto his list, then he wouldn't have this problem. Like he wouldn't be sweating it. It would just be like or if he was selling some type of product through his list, then he just wouldn't be in this issue that he's facing right now. Like that took away 90% of his income, and he was living off of that. So now he's just like, well, shit, what do I do now? And he's starting an emergency Patreon and starting to stream on Twitch. And I'm like, he has the personality to back it up for sure. But if he had planned to do this from the beginning, put an email list together, then he would be fine. So yeah. Master Panda says, yeah, I remember a scene in Invincible comic where the two roided out twins were building it in a lab, equipment in a lab, all that high tech cyber stuff. Otley had to draw. He's an absolute beast. Yeah, dude, an absolute beast. I've met him in person, and like he said he got tired drawing all that stuff. And sometimes when he got tired, he had to switch off with the original creator, the original artist for Invincible, Cory Walker. He was just like, okay, tag out. And then he would tag out with Cory Walker, because a lot of that stuff was a lot, really a lot to draw. Hey, what's up, Silver? Hey, appreciate the super chat. €10 super chat, man. Appreciate it. He says, "Are you Yoruba or Igbo?" I'm actually Igbo, man. So yeah, that answers that question. We went to Nigeria last year, and um, we were mostly in Lagos, which they say is Yoruba land. But yeah, my people are Igbo. So yeah, that's that, man. I don't really know a whole lot like about my culture, but we went out there and we saw a lot more than my parents have told me over the years. So it was really fun. Let me see. Oh, okay. So you guys can see what I'm working on. Good. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, yeah. I read in a book called The Perennial Seller by Ryan Holiday, like years ago, before I even went to the Kubert School, that if you want to have a long, sustainable career in making comics, you want to focus on getting that 1,000 true fans, and then having an email list and he was really stressing out the email list. Like he was saying, get an email list, get an email list. And people still are not even on that train. Like they're not even thinking about that. Most artists online are just focused on going viral, getting big, or posting a lot of art and hoping. Like they just hope that people will look and see their stuff and put them ahead of other people. But then when it comes time to sell their books and they try to post something on social media, they don't have a list built up of people who are actually interested in their stuff to draw from. So then they have to go and shuck, what Panda was saying, like be shucking and driving on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter to get people interested in their book. When if they had a list built, all they would have to do is send out one email or maybe a series of emails, and people would be like, "Yep, I'm buying that. Like I'm on the list. I'm buying that book." But most people don't set that up or don't even know that that's something that they should do. So yeah, I read that in a book years ago because I knew from a young age that I was serious about making comics into a living, and that I wasn't gonna be able to rely on corporations or the publishing company to really sell my book, and that I wasn't gonna be able to go to Japan and be able to rely on them to sell my book either. So I was just like, well, I'm gonna have to figure this out some way, like one way or another. Okay, you guys can still see what I'm working on. Good. Yeah, more creators than I know of like have posted on Twitter. Like they'll spaz out on Twitter sometimes, like where they're just like, yeah, I don't make any money. I'm broke. Why am I broke? I have all these followers. It doesn't make any sense because they're not doing the basic things that a business does to sustain itself. They just want to draw without the hassle of learning how to market and sell. Like it took me a full year to learn everything I currently know about marketing, and that's why I have this channel going at the pace that it's going, and why I'm producing a video every single day, no matter what, like rain, sleet, or shine. And I appreciate Massive Panda just commenting under the videos and just being there. I appreciate that, man. But yeah, I just post because I know that's part of the strategy of being a YouTuber or being a creator online. Like you just got to show up every day in some capacity so that people know of your existence. Because if you don't show up or you just sort of disappear, then people are like, I guess he doesn't exist anymore. He's dead. I guess he died. Like they'll just think you died. They won't even go looking for you. They'll just be like, well, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Like it's just ridiculous, but it's what you have to do, man. Like it's just what you have to do. Okay, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. There we go. That's done. There's this one guy at my work who was talking about how he lives in his van. And I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I should try that out one day. Because I've already done it in the past. But that was more like a matter of circumstance rather than something I consciously chose to do. Let me go to inks. Trying to erase something. Oh, there we go. Let me see what Massive is saying. Massive says, I have an idea that will offend many. All the artists who are good at marketing, who usually suck at art, should ditch their comics and help talented creators who don't have time to promote. That will offend many. In fact, it offends me. It's like, it would be like, you know what? Fuck my own ideas. Fuck my own art. Let me just go help people who are more talented. Like that's like putting yourself as a secondary character in your own show. Like people who are good at marketing but not good at drawing their comic still believe in their comic to some extent because they took the time to learn marketing so they could sell their own art. They don't want to have to be like somebody else's bitch. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to have to go over and be like, "Hey, I'm not that good, so I'm gonna hype up you instead." Like, everyone in art has an ego, even if they don't, even if they're not obvious about it. They they have an ego. Like, I am making stuff, even if they're not that great. They'll be like, you know what? I have something to say, and I'm gonna say it with my art. Um, if they're drawing, then they believe in themselves to a certain extent, to where they do want to post more stuff like that. But for people who are just marketers and not artists at all, then by all means they should be helping people out. Like, if I mean, but we'd have to pay them. You know, like it would come at a cost. So there are a lot of people who I know of who don't have any art skills at all, but who are good at networking, getting people together, and marketing their work. So they would be good at marketing people's stuff because they just see numbers and they get dollar signs in their eyes. Like, they see your art and they're like, oh, I know exactly how I can market it, and they jump at the opportunity. So if you have the money to pay them, then absolutely. That's what it comes down to. Like, if you have money to expedite certain processes, then you won't even have to worry about doing half the stuff that you're doing right now. But it still comes down to like a large amount of like hard work. But that's what I think. Let's see. Nick Stream says, will a Comic Con art book be possible in the future? Like the Eddie Nunez and Frank Cho look behind the scenes. Yeah, in the future, but right now it's like I don't really have that much art, to be honest. Like, I have some stuff from the Kubert School, I have some stuff from making Air Rider, and I have some stuff from making Saintly, but I feel like I would have to draw more before I get to that. Get to a point where I put out an art book. But I have seen that what's his name? Uh Young Wavy's putting out an art book, so I'm like, damn, okay, already. But he's specifically good at drawing. Like he's specifically really good at drawing. Uh, I'm good at drawing and writing, but not as strong in drawing. So it'll be a while before I put out an art book because I still have to get better at my at actually drawing. So yeah, that's not my priority at the moment. Uh, well, your work is on point, so not you, obviously. No, you're good, man. Yeah, it would just be like, uh, yeah, even bad artists or artists that aren't that good at drawing, they still believe in themselves to some extent. Um, to get good at marketing. Some people are just really good at marketing. Or getting their name out there or putting themselves in the right places and that kind of stuff. Silver says, have you read any Marvel Secret Wars drawn by Asad Ribic? Art is amazing. No, I haven't. I haven't read any Secret Wars, but I have read the Asad Ribic work that I have read was Thor the God Butcher. I read that entire series, and most of it was drawn by Asad Ribic and written by Jason Aaron. And that series was so fucking good. Like when I saw the Thor God of Love and Thunder in the movie theaters, I went to sleep. I went to sleep because it was so bad and it was so boring too. Like it was just Thor hyping up his cancer girlfriend, and she became the female Thor, and she was wielding the hammer. It's like, bro, what is this? Like, this is lame, dude. Like, and then all the kids at the end of the movie were like, they all had thunder powers, and they were beating up the villains. And Gore the God Butcher, who was like this badass character in the comic book, was just a loser, man. Like he was just pathetically beaten in the movie, and I was just like, this is disgusting, man. I don't want to see this crap. Like in the comic book, they were fighting an intergenerational battle with old Thor, young Thor, and current Thor, and they were fighting in between planets. That's how epic the scale of the battle was with their granddaughters, dude. Like they were fighting in between planets, just like fighting and slashing and just like, oh man, it was amazing. And I was actually worried about them because Gore is like somebody that can actually kill gods, so Thor wasn't safe from getting killed by that guy. And I was just like, this is gonna be interesting how this turns out. Like it was just an epic battle that took place. And while the movie took some elements from the comic itself, it didn't take the good stuff from it, and it just turned it into trash. And I was just like, bruh, how could you drop the fucking ball that hard on a movie that was a layup? It was a layup. You could make that movie so easily good, but you chose to make it trash. And I just don't understand, man. Like, y'all purposely chose to make it disgusting garbage. And I can only sigh, man. Like, I'll watch a Spider-Man movie whenever it comes out, but man, they dropped the ball. Ragnarok wasn't far off from being like too jokey for my taste, but it was still serious enough to where I enjoyed a lot of Ragnarok. There were some funny parts, there were some good mix of serious parts, but there were still almost too many jokes to really fully take it serious. And I think that's because they were trying to go into a different direction from where the second Thor movie was, where it was. I didn't watch that one either, but that one was like really, I guess, too serious. And they were like, okay, we need to do a different direction for the next Thor movie. So yeah, it was gross. I just did not like that. Code Ninja, what's up, yo? Hey man, I've been doing a lot of research on how to pursue comics full time as a career, and the most viable solution seems to be a webcomic with a Patreon. What's your advice on this? Yeah, that actually is probably the most viable solution at this point for people who are just trying to get into making a comic. I wouldn't recommend starting a Patreon right up front, because your mind is going to be focused more on trying to make money rather than trying to make a good comic or a good product for your audience. And you're still trying to put stuff out there and find your audience or find what they like to begin with, because any comic can become a profitable venture that you can make money off of, but you have to build an audience first by making the comic and putting it out on a consistent basis. Like, you have to be as consistent as a job, like consistently as you go to your work is how consistent you have to be with putting out your comic book. And what was I gonna say? Like, with making a web comic, you are you're gonna have to be on your own. Like, you're gonna have to be disciplined in putting that comic out on whatever basis that you say you're gonna put stuff out. Like, if you say you're gonna put it out one page per week, put it out one page per week. 2 pages per week, 2 pages per week on Wednesdays and Fridays. If that's your days, you put it out on those days. If you have a weekly comic where you're gonna do several panels, put it out on that schedule. And basically what you're doing, you don't have to make a YouTube channel like I'm doing. I'm just trying to speed up this process and put my name out there as much as I possibly can. But if you're consistent with it for long enough, you can end up like, you can actually become really wealthy, even if you're not making the most technically great webcomic. Like, as long as you find the people who are specifically into what you're doing, you can make a good living. Like, you just have to find 1,000 people who are diehard fans of your comic, and that means you don't have to make something like JJK. You don't have to make the next Dragon Ball. You can make something that's uniquely your own, and you don't have to get published by Marvel or DC or even Image Comics. You can make something that's uniquely your own, create your own world and your own characters, and then get people excited about that. And you can make a whole lot of money doing it. If you're trying to pursue comics full time as a career, just don't focus on Patreon right away. Save that for later when you actually have some content out there and are selling books. So, like, you would go to like conventions and sell books and do that kind of stuff. So yeah. Actually, let me show you an example of somebody that I found recently. I asked ChatGPT, like, hey, who's like a millionaire comic creator that's making a whole lot of money doing this stuff? Can you give me some examples? And it gave me a really solid example. So let me pull it up right here. So this is somebody who's been making their comic for probably, I don't know how many years, like maybe over a decade. And over that decade, yeah, see, for more than 10 years, over that decade, they've just been growing their reader base, their fan base, by posting consistently. He says it's been updating. He does the comic strip. Okay, you can see what I'm looking at. He does the comic strip. Questionable content. It's been updating 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, for more than 10 years now. He's just been consistent on it like a job. And has always been free to read. None of that is going to change. That's the main thing about webcomics. It has to be free to read because it works off of a freemium model where you put it out for free, and then you monetize aspects of the comics that you're making. You can license it out to people, or make spicy stuff out of it. Let's just skip past that. And let me see. We'll look at about. This is how you find out like, okay, how much are they making? Page details, like he has 19K members, and that means like they could be free or paid. But then he has 12K paid members. Do you know how insane that is? And this is probably one of the guys that got on to Patreon when it was more when you could make more, and when he probably was an early adopter to Patreon. But even if he wasn't, 12K is still insane for paid members, which means that even if every member is just $1 paying $1, that would still be like over 100K per year that he's making if they were all just paying $1. And he has 2,867 posts. That means he's consistently posting like that as if it's a job. And this is somebody who's doing it. Like he's doing it and making a good living from that. And I'm like, yo, like how can I do that? You know what I mean? So if we look at the membership options, 1 hour or $1. So even if everyone is taking a $1 pledge, he's making 100K or more, like more than 100K per year. If they're all doing $5, he's making 500, half a million per year, dude. So you know, like you just don't know. Most people don't post how much they're actually making on online. Like they'll hide that. You can toggle it on and off. So but this is not normal, you know. This is not normal. This is a guy who's been doing it consistently for years and years. Most people just stop uploading, or they just find some other job, or they just don't want to make a Patreon a consistent thing. But this guy is consistent. So let's look yesterday. The latest post was yesterday. You see what I mean? So it's like people are following a story. They're following he has a established fan base. They're following what he's doing. He might be going to conventions. If I were him in his spot, I wouldn't even want to go to conventions because I'd be making all the money from online. But he can make conventions and probably clean up at conventions if he goes to the right ones and that kind of thing. So yeah, you can definitely make money from Patreon. It just takes time and consistency. Consistency is the most important thing, even if your comic isn't that great or doesn't look that great. And let me find his actual art so we can take a look at what he's making 12,000 a month for. Because you would think, okay, he's got to be drawing like Michelangelo. He's probably drawing the most insane, amazing, better than JJK, better than Dragon Ball Z type of stuff that is right there. See, like, look at it. Look at this. And I'm not saying this is bad art or anything, but it's very simple. Like it's basic. Like it doesn't need to be the most amazing high tier level art. Like this is just you know, like it's not bad. Like this is basic stuff. He has a style and his audience likes his style. They like it enough to keep funding him $12,000 per year or per month, and that's the low end. That's a low estimation. If everyone gives him $1, that's a low estimation. They're willing to pay him that much just to continue the story and read the comic because they're invested in what he's doing here. So, and another one that I like to check in on every once in a while is Gunnar Craig Court, and Dumbing of Age 2. I haven't read either of these, but I know Gunnar Craig has been going on for decades and decades and has so many published books out and all that kind of stuff. And Dumbing of Age is on that same level where it's just a strip that's been going on for years and years. And I bet this is recent. Yep. This is one of those consistent guys that just post constantly. So February 19th is today. and he's still like he's got an established style that readers enjoy, they like. He doesn't have to deviate too much from it. um and he's totally fine continuing the story that people are reading. And then he has a Patreon as well. And then we'll come back to Gunner Craig, but Venture says she haven't seen Dumbing of Age in years, man. Yeah, that's what I like to do, man. Every once in a while, I like to just jump back into old webcomics that I haven't seen for a decade and be like, is this person still going? This looks so cool and professional. Like, let me see this. I'm David M. Willis, and I draw, and he has 5,000 61 posts. So he has 5.4K members. And so he's got all this stuff. Oh, unused strips, and they're for free, like for people, anyone who wants to come in and see them. Uh, so we'll go to about and try to get a good idea. So 3K paid members. This means he's making a living off of his comic. 3K paid members, meaning even if they all 3K of these people pay $1, he's making 3,000 per month just on the base bottom level. And then he can supplement that income with making going to conventions and that kind of thing. But yeah, 5.4K members, 3K paid members, 5,000 posts. And then if we look at membership options, 1, 5, and 10, very basic. And then 20, and that's it. And so yeah, this guy is getting paid off of, like, he's living off of the comic, and he doesn't have to do anything else if he doesn't want to. Gunner Craig Court, this man has been going on for decades, dude. I remember Gunner Craig Court from when I was like in middle school, man. Or maybe high school, I don't know. But yeah, it was still going even at that time, and it already won like awards and stuff from the past. And this is posted from yesterday, dude. 18th of February, yesterday. Tom Siddell. This guy is still going. Let me cut these off so it's not too and that one's a scary page. 3,798 members. So then if we go to see the membership options, actually we want to go to the about. There we go. And it's just the old school YouTube video from probably over a decade ago where he just was like, hey guys, sign up to my Patreon, you know? Let me take off the comment there and then I'll read through some of what y'all are saying. What's up, Dragfang? Yeah, I was talking about the MCU and that. Let's see. 1,533 paid members. So even if they're all paying $1 to continue reading the comic, he's making $1,500 a month, which is still good. Like, it's still good. Like, that's a living. Like, he only has to work on making more Gunner Craig Court, and people are happy to read it. Some people are probably paying more than that. If we go to home or see membership options, yeah. And he's got 2. So at the lowest level, he's got a $2 thing. So even if they're all paying at the lowest level, he's making well, I'm not counting taxes yet. So he's making, even at the lowest level, he's making 3,000 something per month. And that's before taxes are taken out and all that. But yeah, he's making a living and he's able to just continue making the comic. He doesn't have to do anything else. And we can view this post because it's like free. And that's dope. Omnibus Volume 2. Like, that's going to be a huge book because he's been working on this for years and years. And see, these are the people who are like super psyched about his art because of what he's creating. They're not they might be watching JJK or whatever, but they really follow this creator and they're down for him and what he's doing because uh they just want more from him. And this is the whole point behind, I didn't want to turn this into a marketing seminar, but this is the whole point behind getting on social media. Is like, you just get on social media so you can get people to go back to your email list or to go back to what you're selling, so that you don't have to keep being on social media all the time. That's why I say I'm doing this YouTube thing until I get to be a full-time comic artist. Then I'll scale back and not do as much YouTube content as before, but I'll still gather as many readers as I can to Saintly and the things that I'm working on, so that I can so I don't have to do the social media thing all the time. That social media is just a temporary thing, so you can gather your true fans. So then what was okay. Sounds like a lot of what they did to ruin Iron Man 3, which turned out to be a complete heap of garbage. I didn't even see Iron Man 3, man. I remember 1, and I saw a little bit of 2 while we were in class at school. And I thought 2 was fine. Thor Dark World put me to sleep 3 different times. Damn. Silver, are you looking forward to the Beyond the Spider-Verse movie? Yeah, of course I am. I remember watching Across the Spider-Verse, and that was an insane like cliffhanger at the end. I was just like, everybody in the theater was like, oh, like when it ended, everybody was like, oh, come on. Like they wanted to see what happened because Miles had just met, spoiler alert, is, dark half or whatever. And people were like, okay, we're ready for the next episode right now, but it was just like the movie ended right there and everyone freaked out. So yeah, I can't wait for the Beyond the Spider-Verse movie. Hopefully they can land the plane and make this a really dope trilogy to take home. It's absolutely true. Code Ninja, because I've seen a bunch of webcomics get followers and readers. Yep. Dragfang. There's several webcomics that do that. Yeah. There's webcomic artists making 30,000 a month on Patreon, like dozens of them, and even more making thousands. It just makes the most sense. Yeah, for real. Like, you're making your own thing, and I'll show y'all a person who's not even a webcomic artist who's making a whole lot of money just by doing a web novel. There's a couple of them that I know of that I've heard of recently, and another one that I knew of from a long time ago. Code Ninja, yeah, it does make the most sense, but you should rush into that so soon, otherwise you could get burnout or other problems you aren't ready for. Yeah, you don't want to rush into making money off of Patreon right away. You just want to create at your own pace and get comfortable with creating on a consistent basis. And then once you figure out a consistent basis that works for you, then you're good to go. Tom Bloom, the creator of 6 Billion Demons, does very, very well on Patreon. I haven't seen his Patreon in a while, but I know he would be doing well on Patreon because I've seen his comic 6 Billion Demons on Twitter all the time, and man, that is the type of art that it's better than JJK, dude. Like, it's better art than JJK, but he has more time to draw, obviously, and he can color it. But even then, like, even in the past, he was busting out top tier pages. Like, damn, it's already 2 hours, but I'm just gonna go on a little longer to look at stuff, man. Code Ninja says how I found him doing my research also. Yeah, so let's look at Kill 6 Billion Demons real quick, because I don't even know if his name is Tom Bloom. I always saw his name as Abaddon, dude. I didn't know that was his actual name. I always go like Abaddon. Oh yeah, Tom Parkinson Morgan. I was just like, who's Tom Bloom? Yeah, I knew it was Tom, but not Tom Bloom. Yeah, his art is god tier. And it's usual in the extreme. Like you don't see this. Like he's actually published by Image Comics because of how high quality the art on his comic is. Um and I think there's like a major battle going on in the story right now. But see, he's pulling off stuff on a Mobius level like this, where he's just got so many details in the background. Like, how do you even think of this, man? Like, where how does your mind work? And you want to know it because it's like he's doing impossible things. Like, look at this. It's insane. So his fans are well fed, dude. Like they are well fed. Like they're like, oh, this glorious page. Like, oh, this is so awesome, amazing. Like, dude, like he's pulling out all stops, and so he can afford to make a living from his comic because he is doing the most. He's pulling out everything for his fans. So it's like, dude, if you're a fan of Kill 6 Billion Demons, you're eating good because this guy is consistent and he's there. Like he'll go on hiatus every once in a while, but with art like this, like, dude, you're getting movie level quality from a web comic for free online. So shut up. So we'll go to let's go to his Patreon and just check out what he's doing. I do this for research, you know, just to check out, see what people are making. Oh, and this guy actually didn't hide his amount, the amount that he's making per month. It's just out in the open. So he has 8,424 total members, 2,686 paid members. And then even with that, he's making 8,227 per month. So that means a lot, you know, because it's like not even all of his members are monetized, but the 2,000 that the almost 3,000 that are monetized are enough for him to make almost 10,000 a month. And this is not counting other selling avenues that he might be using. He's already making a good living just off of making the comic. Like he's already making a good living. And this is not by trying to focus on monetizing as soon as possible. This is just by making a dope ass comic and nurturing his fan base so that they all enjoy like what they're getting. Like he is drawing his ass off every time he goes to the page, and he's gonna color this. When he colors this, it's gonna look even more dope than it already does. And then he can make sales off of his books from Image Comics because they were like, this guy is drawing too dope to not be published with us. So man, look at that. Look at that. Okay, I'm glad I'm showing. Okay, good. Super dope. So he's a true professional and making money. Like you don't have to draw like this. Like the other dude, the questionable content guy, Jeff Jock, who we looked at first, is probably making more than him, and he's not drawing at this same level. Like he's not drawing an insane battle anime on the same level, and he's making more. But this is insane. So yeah, you don't have to go that hard to make a web comic and make money at it. You just have to be consistent and do it for a long period of time. Dragfang says, I get you, but I still don't have to immediately do that yet. What comic idea do you have in question? Does making a webcomic website work? Man, 12K a month, that's money. I need to get my life together. Yeah, no, for real. Same here, man. And that's just on the low end. He might be making 10 times more than that. We don't know. If Abaddon is making 8,000 off of 2,600 members, then that 12,000 is probably a low ball, and he's making way more. You either have to get connections or work hard in a certain field. Yeah, you just develop that over time as you get to know other comic creators. Venture Lord says that's nuts for a webcomic guy to be this successful. Dude, you don't have to go through Image Comics, you don't have to go through Marvel or DC anymore. Like it's the thing, like we think being famous and creating Dragon Ball Z or JJK or webtoons on webtoons originals is the move. Like we think that, oh, that's how I'm going to make money. I just need to go to Japan, or I just need to make webtoons and get a bad contract from webtoons and make money that way. I need to get famous or go viral. But you just have to be consistent and develop a fan base that you can surprise and delight with the comic that you're making, and they'll just reward you with money, and you won't even know like, why are they giving me all this money? But it's because you put them first and not your desire for money. Venture says is really cool to see. Yep. Code Ninja says Illustrarian at her lowest tier could be making 35,000 a month for her webcomic. What the hell? Okay, now it's just turned into, let's look at see what all these webcomic people are making, because that is insane. I've never seen someone named Illustrarian. Illustrator webcomic. And let me show you the other like web novel guys that I was talking about. So there's this web novel called Worm. Web novel serial. Yeah. John C. McCrae makes this novel, this like light novel or web novel called Worm. And I started reading it when I was in high school. I haven't finished it, but I was just like, so is this guy making money off of this somehow? And when I looked at his Patreon, I was just like, yes, he definitely fucking is. Wild Bow. Yep, that's what it was. Okay. Arian. Oh, okay. Creates steamy monster romance fantasy comics. Yeah, of course. Anytime you put spicy stuff in a comic book, that's gonna 10x whatever you're doing, whatever the fuck you're doing. It's gonna 10x what you're doing and blow it to the stratosphere. Of course, he's gonna be making $1 million per chapter off of that, man. Like that. as soon as it gets to naughty or like sexy or whatever, you're just printing money at that point, and it's not gonna stop anytime soon. So I don't know, maybe fucking Saintly will go in that direction. I hope not. But that if you want like true cash, yeah, just make it spicy, man. And even that Jeff Jocks was making it spicy. He was making some spicy stuff. So that probably 10x his income as well, man. People just like it, you know, and you can't you just can't argue with the results. Illustrator and 5,680 paid members. God damn, 22,342 members. And her art style is really solid. Like, look at that. Like, that's really good right there. Right there. It's just a really, really well drawn art style. She's good. I create steamy comic books for those who love a mixture of fantasy monsters and a pinch of naughty romance. Here passion takes unexpected forms, wild, seductive, and often monstrous. Yep. If you enjoy stories that blur the line between desire and the supernatural, you found your place. So she's offering a very niche, specific thing for people who are looking for this specific thing that can't find it anywhere else. So, and it's also sexual, which 10x's whatever she's doing. So 5,000 paid members. That's at least $5,680 per month if she has a $1 tier. If we look at where's that thing? Okay, yeah, here we go. God damn. No. That there's no $1 tier. Oh no. That's crazy, dude. So she has a four. It's like $4.80 per month. Nigga, I have to do the calculations on that. So she has 5,680 times 4.80. Oh, who said she was making that in the 27,264? That's disgusting, dude. Oh my god. Let me see. What was that? Somebody said that in the comments here. Illustrator, yeah. Oh yeah. At her lowest tier could be making 35,280 per month for her comic. Yeah, that's insane, dude. Well, maybe not quite that much. Oh, probably because it switched from there's a discount this month. So if we multiplied it by 6, yeah. Yeah, it comes out to about that much. That is literally insane, man. Damn. That's crazy. And she's a really good artist too. So combine really good art with spicy stuff. Damn. You're raking in the dough, and that's on the low end. The other person that I know of that was making top level cash were two other people. Um it was Saki Michan, who was making like $30,000 a week when I checked her when it was early on in Patreon. And she was just making top tier stuff. If I go to Patreon, maybe she's not using it anymore. So she was raking in the dough, and then there's this other one called Merryweather. Are y'all seeing? Okay. Who was making like 12,000 either per week or per month, but they were making a dickload of money. But that's because they are collective. There's more than one person. There's I think one writer working on it, or maybe more than one writer, but it's one writer with multiple artists who are all making comics, and they just see, look at that. They just make their cash off the comics. They make YouTube videos. Let me see, they're about 8,000, 8.1K members, 221 paid members, 83 posts. That is weird because they had way more paid members the last time, or they were making way more money the last time I checked on them. And I feel like I took a screenshot of how much cash they were making at that point, so I would always have that in the back of my pocket. Let me see the about section for Sakimi-chan. Oh, this is really well put together. Damn! We don't even get an idea of how many people or Patreons are on her Patreon. Like, that is crazy. So, damn. We just don't even have any clue. We don't even have an idea. They hid that information. So, because she's making a disgusting amount of money, like just the way that she draws, like she draws high quality, she draws sexual stuff. So, she's making bank. If you draw sexual stuff and you draw at high quality, you're cleaning up, dude. Okay. Dragpang says, few titles I'm working on, seeing what sticks. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Namikami has a similar Patreon, if I'm correct. Okay. I might have heard of Namikami, but let me check back with Wildbow. So I think they were making more than this before, but that's because the comic was actively going. See, it's not going anymore. His last post was in July 2016. I wonder if it still goes despite the fact that he doesn't post anymore, or maybe he makes different comic series. But says he's currently working on Seek, a science fiction serial. Okay. But yeah, he's making a decent living from just that. He's able to sit and just write, and he can also make money from the sales of his physical book. So there's that. Namikami. I haven't actually heard of this. Let's see. There are no subscription features. I don't know if this is it. Is this it? No, it doesn't seem like it because they're only making $20 a month. But they're probably just at the start. But yeah. Or maybe it's this. I don't know. Gentle Gravity. But yeah, it's not necessarily about making the best, highest quality thing. It's just about making something specific that nobody can find anywhere else. Let me go back to the it's my goal to build a Patreon for my work. I don't have to worry about Kickstarters or product. You just get paid doing what you're already doing. Yep. Same with creator of Irma. Yeah, I've been following Brandon Santiago for a long time. Back when Irma was on Tapas, and you could read like, and his art was like still just starting off. Now he has a really refined style, and it's blown up. Like he's just got his business set up and it's ready to go. He said they have a game for their webtoon on Steam. Oh, that's dope. And a physical book for their story. Yeah, physical book. He has animations out. So Irma is like there. I want to do a collab with him one day because it's in the horror genre of webcomics. So I want to do that with like a little crossover between Saintly and Irma. That would be cool. Ken, have you read No Name Star? Nope. Unbreakable Iron Ranger. Unbreakable Iron Ranger. I think we talked about this before on the show before. And Silence Draws. Hey, what's up? Appreciate you. Yeah, congrats on knocking out episode 1. Thank you very much. Almost done with it. I just need to put new dialogue on there and then wrap it up. So yeah. So the last person I wanted to talk about was someone called Zol Garth. Yep, there we go. Thank God. Because I just wasn't going to. So this is another person who is creating a web novel, and they are getting like, look at this number. This is literally insane. 89,000. That's more than most people's yearly salary per month creating web novels. It's called The Primal Hunter. And I have never read it, and I probably won't read it anytime soon. But this is something that you don't just, okay, I'm going to type out a novel, and next month I'll be making 80,000, like literally $90,000 per month. Like, I'm just going to do that. It doesn't happen overnight. Like, he has to have been doing this for decades, for years and years, building up a very dedicated fan base who is just like, we want to see more from you. So yeah, so he just uploaded yesterday. He uploaded 19 hours ago, just chapters on chapters of the story that's coming out. And apparently has a premium edition hardcover campaign. This guy is rolling in cash, and so he has the resources to, even if he puts the money back into his business, he has the resources to make even more books, make even more things. Like, if you're smart with your money, then you can 10x the results that you're getting with your comic in its base form. So Yeah, that is super dope. Dragfang says, "Hey Ken, what are your thoughts on Saturday AM?" We'll get back to that. I think I'm pretty much done with this. Looking at people's Patreons and stuff, but I want to see if there's any people that just joined us. Okay, yeah, I'll answer the last few questions and then head out. Uh, he says, and people say art is not as important as writing. Yeah, yeah, man. What are your thoughts on Saturday AM? I haven't seen anything about them for a long time. The last thing I heard about them was the video game that came out, the fighting game. But yeah, I just haven't looked into them at all for years. I wonder what they're doing to stay on top of everything. But yeah, I haven't heard about them for a while. Mm. Venture Lord says the Battle Bank Maze chapters had some insane layouts. I assume he's talking about Kill 6 billion demons. Abaddon is literally the blueprint for me. Yep, his comic was made for the Patreon way of distribution. Yep, I'd be happy to pay to learn more about this world. Oh yeah, it is amazing. Uh, Master Panda, yeah man, that almost looks like if we combine Mobius, Jeff Darrow, yep, and some of the work I saw from Elephant Man all in one. Yeah, yeah, I remember Elephant Man as well. It is top tier stuff. Plus, he does a lot of collab projects, like he's done with some tabletop games. Yeah, yeah, he has done a lot of tabletop games and stuff like that. Mm. Venture Lord says, now that you put it all into context, it feels like hype culture is a huge psyop, keeping young artists in a mental trap. Yeah, it's a genjutsu, dude. It's just a genjutsu to keep people chasing popularity and likes and stats instead of actually chasing what will sustain their career in the long term. Uh, this seems much more sustainable and it avoids a lot of social media too. Yeah, yeah, you don't have to be on social media forever. You just go on for a little while, gather who might be interested, and then you can go into your own corner pocket of the internet and just keep making your own stuff. You don't have to be out and about like I am on YouTube. Like they didn't leverage YouTube as much as I'm doing right now. But it was also easier back in those days to get attention online just because there wasn't such a splintering and a fracturing of attention taking things everywhere like TikTok and video games and YouTube and all that stuff. Dragfang says, "What hype culture? Just like when things are like blow up and you assume like that person is making a whole lot of money, but they're really not, and it just looks good on the outside because of the social media numbers." The guys on the Comics Lab podcast. Oh yeah, I remember Comics Lab. Said it best about marketing. Comics are not a demographic based business, but it's an interest based business. Yep. You find people with your same interests and you cater. Exactly. Yeah, you cater to them. Oh Ken, give the web novel a hero for this dragon. It's amazing read and the creator's art is absolutely amazing. So web novel, hero for this dragon. Okay, I'll give that a look. Yeah, everybody saw Rachel Smythe stacking paper. Oh yeah. Yep. Rachel Smythe, the Lore Olympus, off of Lore Olympus, thinking they could follow suit, but Webtoon made sure that nobody after her got a deal that sweet ever again. Yeah, dude, they fucking cut that shit off quick, man. Can't do that shit no more. Damn. Uh, yeah, she's stacking bread, dude. The original lowest tier was $6. Oh yeah. Uh, hold on one sec. Let me. Alexa, turn off. Alexa, stop. Okay. Yeah, I remember Sakimi Chin and Loish. Yeah, Loish was big back in those days. I wonder what she's doing now, like maybe concept art or something. I don't know. She could do her own thing if she wanted. That's insane. What the holy crap? Yeah, I was probably at the numbers of the 89,000. The Zogarth creator, like that's insane. Royal Road readers don't play around much, huh? Yeah, yeah, man. Because novels are a lot easier to like type out, but then you have to be a lot more picky about your words that you're using and the genre that you use. And I think I'll leave y'all with this last tip because if Zogarth is doing what I think they're doing, they're probably using the playbook of someone like a Brandon Sanderson or one of the creators that taught me like how to do this type of thing, which is Chris Fox. It's called Right to Market. So he has a whole book and his website dedicated to showing readers how to let me just read it out for you. Right to Market, Deliver a Book That Sells by Chris Fox. A guide for authors on how to write books that are commercially successful by focusing on market demand before writing rather than marketing a finished book. Meaning this book teaches you how to basically identify what type of book you're writing. Like, are you doing a fantasy? Are you doing a uh sci-fi? Are you doing a isekai? Whatever you're doing, it identifies, like, it helps you identify what genre you're doing, what is a popular genre and what is an underserved genre. What you want to do is get into the underserved niche genre, which doesn't have a lot of content but has a lot of people who want more of that more of that type of content, but there's not much out there for it. Like, let's say a supernatural webcomic or something like what I'm doing. Maybe it's an underserved niche and there's not too many supernatural webcomics out there, and people are like, I need something more supernatural or something with a different flavor to JJK, and then they come to Saintly and then they're like, oh yeah, I like this, I like the style of this. You want to find an underserved niche that is hungry for content, and then it'll show you how to give the readers what they want without disappointing them or without violating certain genre specific things that would turn readers off. So it helps you think more in a marketing way from the very beginning, so you don't make obvious mistakes that would count you out of the race to begin with. So let's say you're making a shonen and then you make the main character really weak, and then he just gets weaker and weaker as the story goes along until he dies. Like, that would be an obvious thing that you don't want to do when you're making a shonen manga, because the main character is supposed to get stronger and fight stronger and stronger villains until he succeeds, you know. So it helps you, this Right to Market helps you figure out how to write the type of story that you're writing, so that you can think of selling it from the beginning rather than creating something that doesn't work and then trying to sell something that nobody wants. Indie Comics Empire is also another good book for that, written by Lord Max Hoven, and he is on YouTube as well. Comic book. And I bought that book for like, I guess, $10, and it was super helpful. And I don't have the physical copy, but the PDF was just right for me. And yeah, it'll help you do the same thing as basically Right to Market, and that should help y'all out if you're gonna try to make a living from making comics. Okay, so last couple of questions. Code Ninja, Do you have a Discord, bro? I need to be around like-minded comic creators. There's too many in the space that aren't looking into it this deep. No, I don't. But now, like, this is the second time somebody has asked, like, do you have Discord? And maybe I'll start something up. I just don't know. I just don't have any like moderation for it. But since it's small, since it's just starting off, it doesn't really need to be big or anything. Um, but yeah, I definitely, when I have more time, like sitting alone drawing, then I'll probably start one up to hang around more creators. But yeah, definitely bring that up again, and I'll do one later on for sure. I follow Lord Max. His videos get to the real nitty gritty details about this. Yeah, exactly. And I read his book, and it goes deep, like to the point of even the name of your comic should be easy to read. That's why I changed the name. Like it wasn't his thing. Like the stuff that I learned about marketing is why I changed the name of Air Rider from just Air Rider, oops, to, hold on one second. It's the reason why I changed the name of Air Rider from just Air Rider. It used to just be Air Rider, but then I added High School Hero because one, that name wasn't being used online, and then two, it just tells you, okay, this is what this is. Like he's not just some superhero skateboarder or whatever. He is a high school hero. So obviously this is happening in some type of high school setting. So yeah, you want to make it easy and obvious for potential readers to know what your thing is about, and you want to make it easy to read and easy to search up. So those are little marketing things that that you learn over time, and if you know, can help you make your comic more sellable to people in the future. So yeah, this was really fun, guys. And I'm just gonna, I guess, post my video that I got for today, and then I'm going to work tomorrow, and that'll be all for this week. I'll see y'all next Thursday, and in the next video. And yeah, have a good night, y'all. Peace out.